Let's talk a little FIFA World Cup right now. Halftime in Atlanta. Argentina versus Egypt. Winner go home. Round of 16. Jonathan Raymond, our local soccer expert, in the house to tell us a little bit about some excitement, a little unexpected excitement. Egypt in the lead right now over powerhouse Argentina and Lionel Messi.
That is right. That is right. We have perhaps, I mean, they're going to be hanging on for dear life in the second half based on how things have been going.
Wow.
But we have perhaps a really interesting, special World Cup upset, which those don't happen too often, especially to a team like Argentina at this stage of the tournament. That could be brewing here in Atlanta.
Yeah. I mean, the presence of Argentina and Egypt in Atlanta, huge. I would say Argentina a little more though, just from my observations of walking through Midtown, headed to downtown, and just seeing everything that's going on. The fan base is huge. Last time Messi was here with Inter Miami, I mean, that was a news story in itself.
Yeah.
The fans are here. Egypt obviously wants to win. One of the best players in the world, obviously on their team as well.
Yeah.
What is that game looking like? I mean, could Egypt win this thing?
Absolutely. Their first goal was a really lovely. It illustrates that Egypt has a lot of skill. It was a pass into the box, a lofted pass into the box, and very precisely headed into the goal. Their goalkeeper has been doing, incredible work. Like 3 or 4 really massive saves, including of a penalty kick by Messi. They're going to have their work cut out for them because Argentina has gotten really close on about 3, 4, 5 occasions already since the goal. But they've done it so far, and that can happen in a game, a knockout game, where your goalkeeper is just making every save possible. Maybe, especially, you get a little break, you add one. Egypt absolutely could close this out, and it would be monumental. I mean, you talked about, the Argentina has a really huge fan base, traveling fan base. They were at Underground Atlanta. They were at Piedmont Park yesterday.
Oh my gosh, I saw that in person.
They have made their presence known,
Yeah.
but Egypt has a really deep and rich soccer culture. I say that because the first time I ever saw an international soccer match was in Cairo in 2009.
Oh, wow.
And that was part of like my introduction into being sort of an international soccer fan.
Love it.
And they are passionate. They will go. Listen, you want to see the streets of Cairo, how they'll look like if they pull off this one.
That is definitely on my
those
list.
will be scenes.
I want to go see that in person as well. This is one of Atlanta's final 2 matches, right? Today and then next Wednesday, which will be that semifinal match. The winner from this game could come back to Atlanta, correct?
That is correct, yeah. So what this game will feed into is the quarterfinal round. We do not have a quarterfinal round match, but we do have a semifinal.
Yeah.
And that would be the winner of this match will play, I want to say the winner of Colombia and Switzerland. And then they'll feed in one of the 2 participants in the semifinal.
I think that's Saturday in LA.
Yes.
I believe so. Yeah.
So that's how things are shaping up for the Atlanta semifinal.
All right, we'll see. I mean, it's been a powerhouse here. But you know what? We got to talk about what happened last night. The red card heard around the world that was pulled back. And then Belgium said, red card or not, we're about to show you how it's done. 4-1.
Yeah.
The U.S. is out.
Yeah, it's hard to put in diplomatic terms how the U.S. performed last night.
Yeah.
It was a collapse. And the thing is, they allowed really ugly goals. But even if those had not happened, Belgium, they were playing so much better that it could have been 4-1 anyway, just based on good goals instead of bad goals.
Yeah.
What do you say? I don't want to, say it was the stuff swirling around the red card or it was this or that, but they did not have a mental sharpness that you need to have in a round of 16 World Cup knockout match.
Now, somebody had asked the question, I don't want to put words in people's mouths, but somebody had asked, do you all think that the breaking news and everything surrounding this got to their heads, and somebody, not this team. I know the interview with the coach yesterday after the game, he was just kind of going through the motions, but the reality is The U.S. men's soccer team has not been historically great. The women's have really taken it all the way, right?
Yeah.
Is this team better than teams that we've seen in the past? And do you think that the program is growing so that in the next 4 years we see a stronger team? Because I believe Pulisic was on the team last go around. I don't know about Balogun.
He was a part of I can't remember if he went to the tournament or not. I think so. I'd have to go back and look.
Sure.
I don't think he was one of the, he was a main feature player at that tournament. But the answer is yes. To take the long scheme of things, you have to remember that there wasn't even a Major League Soccer up until about 30 years ago. They have players, more players than ever, who are playing for clubs. Weston McKennie plays for Juventus in Italy. Pulisic plays for AC Milan. Balogun plays for Monaco in France. These are teams that play in the Champions League or in the Europa League, upper level European competitions in addition to their domestic leagues. That is a level of improvement. What comes with that is that you have perhaps a little more of a conventional talent base now, and where we used to have a very kind of scrappy U.S. underdog kind of thing. A lot of guys who had never played in Europe, a lot of guys who were maybe limited in their skills, but had this sort of tenacity. Now we do have more conventionally talented players, but they're not as conventionally talented as what a lot of European teams have. They got kind of a head start on that from us. So there's a lot. It's going to take a long time. We've only had MLS academy systems developing players from their early teens for 10 or 15 years in place. We're only seeing the first maybe generational cycle of any of that bearing fruit. So it's gonna take longer than I think we realize for the United States to potentially get to the level where you're expected to make the quarterfinals at a World Cup or expected to make the semifinals at a World Cup, like France or Spain or Argentina or England. That takes a long time to get to that level. And
if you're a man.
Yes. Our women have been.
Just gonna say that.
Our women have been at that level for a long time.
Just gonna say
30 years. They are there, and they will be there for the foreseeable future. I
think the big winner in all of this is our city in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Shout out to the men and women who have done, just gone over and beyond to make sure that we are prepared. I know there's been a little bit of, okay, y'all wait at last minute. We got people in the house now y'all are getting it together. But I've heard overwhelming just 5-star reviews from pretty much everything, from the Fan Fest to the actual FIFA Cup to MARTA, the proximity.
Yes.
Because think about it, in New York, you got to take a train and a bus and walk 10 miles. Here, you take MARTA, you're right there. You can go across the street to the Fan Festival, get to the center, go to Piedmont Park. It's been great.
I think people who have discovered Atlanta from the international community have had probably among the best times of any World Cup city they could have gone to.
Yeah.
And whether that's the ease with which it is to get downtown, or people who go into the stadium and see that concessions have reasonable
$2
prices.
hot dogs. Shout out to Arthur Brilliant.
There is so much about this World Cup in Atlanta. Infrastructurally, that has gone well. Organizationally, when you talk about the fan festival and welcoming people into the city with stuff like at the center and everything like that.
Yeah.
That has gone, I think, just about as well as they could have hoped.
And we absolutely hope that this momentum will continue after the World Cup leaves, that development in downtown continues to grow.
Yeah.
Jonathan, thank you so much for giving us a look.
Course.
Hey, we got a whole other half of a game.
We'll see.
So we'll tune in and see
if
who's the
Egypt
big
holds
winner.
on.
We'll see. Jonathan, thank you so much.
Of course.